A lot of people tell me that they want to journal, but that it's just too slow for them. And some people don't even care to journal at all just because of how slow it can be. Especially when you have so many thoughts in your head, the act of writing sometimes can be really hard to keep up with everything going on in your mind. And as somebody whose mind can sometimes feel like a pinball machine, I totally get it. And oftentimes when our thoughts are racing and we're wanting to get them out of our head and externalize those emotions, our solution is to find something that can keep up with those feelings, such as typing on your phone and your notes app, typing on your computer, or maybe even doing like an audio recording or a video diary of you speaking and just getting your thoughts out. Because typing letters with your fingers or your thumbs, or even just speaking out loud, is obviously way faster than writing. However, let me ask you this. What exactly is your goal with typing or talking as a form of processing your emotions? Are you just trying to get your thoughts out as quickly as you possibly can? Maybe. Or are you actually wanting to get rid of those thoughts so that they hopefully don't come back? There's a little bit of a difference. Getting your thoughts out as quickly as possible is a temporary fix to it, and it does work for a lot of people. But when it's not a more long-term solution, it's very likely that you're just gonna end up having a ton of racing thoughts and you're just gonna rinse and repeat and do the exact same thing. Not many people think that there might be more of a solution to get rid of those overwhelming thoughts because you're just so used to having extreme anxiety, intense emotions, and just so many things crammed up in your brain. But what if I told you that it was possible to regain control of everything happening up here so that you don't have to resort to fast ways of externalizing your emotions? I am a firm believer that you can do anything you set your mind to, within the laws of physics, of course. So let's talk about a way that you can potentially rewire your brain so that you can slow down your thoughts rather than finding a way to keep up with them. Because that's what typing often is, at least in the context of having a lot on your mind and needing to get it out. First, let's talk about the importance of slowing down in such a fast-paced world. Because you might be like, Carrie, it's not that big of a deal. I can just type, or I can just use an audio recording and it makes me feel better afterwards and I'm perfectly happy with it. And if that's the case, you are more than welcome to continue doing it. But at least hear me out, okay? Everything in this world is so fast-paced, especially with how advanced technology is. We are surrounded by speed. We are living in times of instant gratification, a quick fix of serotonin, an immediate answer to our problems. Attention spans are at an all-time low. Hustle culture is so prominent. There's intense societal pressure to grow up at a young age. Trends come and go every day. We get frustrated if the internet's taking a little bit too long to load. We prioritize quick, fast, and easy. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty nice. It's nice to be able to order something online and have it show up on your doorstep the next day. And it's really addicting to just scroll on your phone and have an unlimited supply of entertainment and information. But we as humans are not designed to move as quickly as high-speed internet at all times. It's just not sustainable for our mind to always be moving. Do you ever notice how easy it is to become exhausted and overwhelmed when it feels like everything in your life is just moving so quickly? It's because our minds just can't keep up with that speed, all of that expenditure of energy at all times. So as a result, we lose our focus and attention just as quickly as our life is moving, and our thoughts can often reflect that. Our brains grow stronger from the input of information, but it also grows stronger from rest. Now let's get back to the whole journaling conversation. Does typing and talking quickly into an audio recording help you get rid of those speeding thoughts? Although it may temporarily help, you're basically training your brain to use it as a coping mechanism whenever you're having thoughts that are moving so fast. So like I mentioned before, it's very likely that the next time you're having a lot of things on your mind that you just want to externalize, you're not going to be able to efficiently handle it on your own without typing it out really fast. You're still going to have thoughts that you're not going to be able to slow down. You're just going to be able to get them out quickly. And wouldn't you rather be able to slow down your mind rather than having to push it out as fast as you can? To me, it just gives me such a better sense of control when I'm able to take all of these crazy thoughts going on in my mind, that pinball machine, and take a deep breath and regain that control and slow down rather than having to go to get it out of my brain. If your brain is wired to go, which is what we're taught in today's society, and it's something that I'm still guilty of too, it can be extremely difficult to start writing slowly when you're trying to process everything happening in your brain. So what do? Here is my solution. If you're wanting to make a change, if you're wanting to try to regain some control of those fast thoughts, thoughts going on in your mind, this is what I propose. Do your typical routine of typing or recording yourself talk, a little video diary, whatever it may be, because again, doing this can be really helpful, and it's better that you process your emotions in any way at all in the way that works for you. But from there, if you're wanting to slow down, use the state that you're in right after typing everything out or recording yourself, that state when you've temporarily harnessed everything going on in your mind, when it's out on your computer or phone or camera. Use that time wisely, because now is the time that you can practice slowing down. Go back and look at what you typed, or go back and re-listen to what you just said, and then try writing about it. Even if you write word for word what you just said, doing this will allow you to revisit those thoughts, the ones that were previously racing through your head, and you can practice writing them out slowly. So those feelings will still be very familiar because you're still feeling them, but you don't feel that pressure of having to get it out because you've already done it. Everything is all right there, and then you're able to slow down with them and write it out. You're basically bridging that gap for yourself in your brain, making that connection of the fast thoughts that I just got out can also be externalized slowly. You can also try writing when you don't feel so rushed in your thinking, when you're already calm and feeling really grounded. The more you practice writing in that controlled mental state, the more you can familiarize your mind with what it's like to slow down. Writing it out can really help you reflect and be consciously aware of how slow it can be, especially if you're not used to it at first. But eventually, if you keep practicing, it literally becomes like second nature. I've been journaling for years and years and years, and so many people always ask me, how do you journal without losing your thought process? Or how do you keep up with what you're thinking? And my answer is always just, I just do. My mind moves very slowly when I write, but it's not anything weird. It doesn't feel awkward because I'm just so used to it. I don't lose my train of thought. It's a perfectly paced way of expressing my emotions in a way that doesn't feel very overwhelming. I'm able to consciously think about the words that I want to choose. And that's not to say that all of my journal entries are always like that. I do rush through my journal entries here and there, but I always try to have it be a nice reflective time, whether I'm writing about something happy or sad or overwhelming or mundane, literally anything. But in general, regaining control over your mind, even if it's just a little bit, is what will help you slow down and physically write out what you're wanting to say. This also teaches really valuable communication skills, in my opinion. It's helped me maintain my emotions and patience when having a difficult conversation with someone, because I've practiced slowing down my thoughts so that I can think more logically. And that's not to say that I don't have a million thoughts at once, because I definitely do. I always have so many things going on up in my brain, and it definitely can still feel like a pinball machine. But because of how much practice I have with being aware of my mental space and knowing myself like that, I'm able to track that pinball. And when you're so focused on that pinball, instead of ping, 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 ping going around so fast, you're able to like hyper focus on the thought that you're having and know exactly what you're trying to say despite all of the things around it. I honestly think it is the biggest thing that has helped me gain control of my emotions rather than letting my emotions gain control of me. And that is not to say that I am perfect. That is just my little disclaimer here. There are times where my emotions get the best of me. There are times where my patience is running really thin. But overall, I'd like to say that I've made vast improvements from when I was younger because of how much I have been journaling and trained my mind to slow down. But sometimes when I'm really excited and I just have a lot of things I want to share, I definitely let loose a little bit and my mind is just all over the place. So, am I perfect? No, not at all. We are always going to be human. We are always going to be flawed, but you can always get stronger emotionally, mentally, physically. And right now we're talking about mental and emotional strength, which is so important. Physical strength is also very important, but that's another conversation. But mental strength specifically is so important, specifically with how vulnerable your mind can be in such a tempting, addictive, fast-paced world. Always, always, always strive to overcome that, because in the long run, you will thank yourself.